short little program, so phenomenal speaker. And we're just going to introduce a few folks. But today, I would like to thank you all for coming out. You know, Leon, I was telling Leon and Heather, I think we're going to need a bigger room because this is the cacophony of networking in here is just outstanding, and I really appreciate all of you making it out because we are up against our friend that comes every January called the Cedar Fever. And if any of you suffer through that like I do, it is no fun. But welcome for our first Ecosystem Space event for 2026. 2026 is going to be an auspicious year for space. We have Artemis that is going to be launching here in just a few months. We have I know we have Nate and his team that he's brought that are launching some CubeSats here shortly. If you haven't seen the CubeSat, you should really see it. We have our visitors from Cal Poly and UC Santa Cruz and many more of those, too many to mention. But what I'd like to do is give Leon here a chance to run through a recap of our workforce report just to let you know that it's available and to run through some introductions.
Hello. All right. Yeah. So the workforce report is available. That's tech, right? So go to our website. So Swift is an organization, right? One of the things that we're really trying to do is a lot of biz dev organizations. We love them. We want to make sure that when space economy companies come to Texas, come to America, whatever it is, that they can get the access to the workforce they want, because that's opportunity for Texans, and that's also opportunity for us as a nation. So we started looking at that problem, and what we realized is the government has no idea what the space economy looks like. And the reason we realized that is because the BEA published a report that basically says, we have no idea what the space economy looks like, and that's a problem. So we did some of our own analysis. Long story short, we need welders. We need a lot of people that make things, right? The rocket designs are honing in. And once you have a design, you don't change it, right? I mean, that's what NASA used to do a lot. But now you have a 787, you just make thousands of them. And Elon, in fact, announced like the Giga Forge or factory or whatever it was, right? So check out the report. It's super interesting. A lot of big news is going to be coming out of us pretty soon. Heather's going to be telling you about some South by fun, which I won't ruin the surprise on. And is that everything more or less?
The changing of station here.
Well, no, okay. But that's next. Jeff is next. We also, of course, want to thank our sponsors. So, obviously, LSAS Tech. Thank you very much for making all of this possible. It is very important you all hear why the beer is free. Well, it's important you hear why the spirits is free as well. So thank you also to, if you would care to glance over there, to, oh no, what are they called?
Starbase.
No. Still Austin, the whiskey. And then, obviously, to Starbase Brewing, who are going to be talking to us today about beer in space. It's quite possibly my favorite guest speech. And also, of course, last but in no means least, Capital Factory is rejigging. I don't know, it's not a rebrand. They're sort of they've gotten so big they've split. And so Capital Factory will become Station Austin. And space is so important to them that they even put it in the logo. There we go. All right, so do be aware of that. That's very important to know. So, and I think that's me, right? That's cool. All right. And then you?
Great. I'll hand it over to Heather shortly. I do want to have a special call out we have the Central Texas Spaceport Development Corporation that is here. Jana, we have Crean, Jim, and Jennifer. There we go. Jana, if you want to talk about what you would like to see as space assets and infrastructure that could help accelerate space in Central Texas, certainly talk to Jana, talk to Jennifer and James Crean with Crean Incorporated, who are doing a lot of research and analysis on that. We want to make sure your input, especially those that come to this event, you are space first. So we want to make sure we get your input into that. We want to thank our representatives here from Blue Origin. That is, we're showing them how big and how much Austin comes out for space. So let's give a big shout out to Blue. Go Blue! All right. Next, I'd like to turn over, we do want to recognize Nate. We have Nate Argraves over in the back who is with Starbase Brewing, and he's going to be up. But this is another Nate. Nate Gay. No, this is Nate, other Nate. Nate Gay, who brought his CubeSat and his team. Exactly, thank you. The CubeSat right here, that is a space CubeSat right there. It hasn't flown in space, but it is space built. And if you want to hear more about that, talk to Evan, talk to Nate, talk to the group that has come from around the country to help build that. And also have satellites. So satellites are going to be launched in April, is that right?
April and August.
April and August. So again, we're not a group that just talks about space. We're a group that does space. And that's the difference. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so without further ado, I do want to turn it over to Heather to talk a little bit about what her activities are around South by.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks for coming out. This is one of our extremely well-attended events, and these have always been so exciting, but it's nice to kick off the new year with a crowd and so many new faces. So thank you for being here. I'm Heather Wagner-Reed. I'm a co-founder of Swift as well and board director, and super, super psyched to tell you about some programming things we have coming up. We'll make it brief, okay? First and foremost, Swift is hosting an official meetup during South by. So for those of you who have badges, mark your calendar for March 13th. It's going to be all about workforce, okay? But really great networking from 2:30 to 3:30. We have sent out to our mailing list a 10% discount for South by tickets for innovation. So be on the lookout for that. We'll keep sending it out if you get our mailings. If not, just send me an email at heather@swiftrocket.org and you'll get a reply with all the details. Also, we are a mission readiness partner for the first inaugural Space House, which we're trying to put together for this South by. Have a ton of interested partners. If there's any space brands out there that want to get involved, it's going to be pretty epic. So please come find me. Also, Ecosystem Space is happening every month on the second Thursday, and it's because of our partners that this happens. If your brand or space company wants to get involved, we'd love to talk to you. Incredible group here, and I'll tell you, it's a very high-level group. We've been looking at all of your positions and who you are and the companies you represent, and we could not be more impressed with this community that is coming out. Lastly, I wanted to introduce somebody who I am extremely excited to bring up here. She is kind of new to Austin, but has been doing things in the Austin market for some time. She's got an incredible space background. And Mary Liz, I kind of want you to introduce yourself a little bit because she's so impressive that we've become friends, and I'm just like, yay, this is a woman I love to hang out with. She is working with Everyday Astronaut. How many of you guys watched that YouTube show and know Tim's work? If you haven't, check it out. Pretty dang impressive. Everyday Astronaut brings the Astro Awards to Austin now. I guess this is the second year in Austin, but it's a third year in Austin. There you are. And it's January 17th and 18th. Also have offered our Swift ecosystem discounted tickets to the awards, which 20% discount. So I'm going to let Mary Liz come talk about that and tell you a little bit more. And thank you so much, my dear. Come on out.
The Astro Awards is the biggest gathering of spaceflight fans and professionals, where you can come celebrate the most important, innovative, and inspirational missions of the year. There's once-in-a-lifetime speeches, incredible panels with some of your favorite professionals and personalities. There's meet and greet and VIP opportunities, including an awesome party with Scott Manley DJing and myself playing my music live. But most importantly, we hand out actual physical awards to the humans who are behind some of the biggest missions of the year, and we celebrate the work they've done to inspire us all. So join us January 17th and 18th in Austin, Texas. Tickets are on sale now at astroowards.live.
Yay, thank you. Who's coming? Who's coming next weekend to the Paramount Theater? I see Nate. Yes, okay. Listen, if you are here, I have a feeling that you are passionate about the best space missions of this era. And that's what we do every single year for the third year in a row. We're celebrating the most important, innovative, and inspirational spaceflight missions of the past year. We have commercial astronauts coming. The From 2 people are going to be giving an exclusive premiere of their footage, having gone over the poles for the first time in human history. They're going to be debuting that at our event. And it's an incredible way to just get up to speed on all of the missions that are happening. You won't believe how much is going on around the world. We have people, huge global community, they come every year. But here's the thing, I reached out to Heather because I was like, There's one thing missing. I've been producing this for 3 years in a row, but it's actually this event that brought me to Austin. I'm in love with Austin. I'm in love with this community, but I need Austin representation at our event. I want all of you to come and connect with this incredible audience. So I hope you join us. I'm really, really grateful that Swift has jumped in as, I would say, the most meaningful sponsor. I connected them to Stoke Space. They're based in Washington. Every year, Stoke wants to send a selection of students, aerospace students, to come and enjoy and connect directly to the leaders of spaceflight. And Swift has made that possible. They are helping us not only give these students the opportunity to sit in the front row, but they are also here to showcase their hardware and so forth. So we have an awesome exhibit hall, lunar landers, lunar rovers. I hope you come. It's going to be super nerdy and super, super fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Now back to Jeff for our TED Talk.
Yeah, so I'm happy to say that this will be my third, so I'll have 100% attendance. If you've never seen Tim Dodd on The Everyday Astronaut on YouTube, he does some amazing videos. And I've talked to, when I went to the conference, I was the first one, which I was like, what? He's in my backyard because he lives in Iowa. And he's got an audience following that is just fanatic, like 2 million followers online. 4 million. 4.2 million followers now, so he's definitely a celebrity. And they chose Austin as the home to this event. And the first time that they did it, it was our Ice Austin event. Yeah, like I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I chose Austin because it was going to be warm. But anyway, there's usually astronauts, there's displays. We're going to have some rocket our students' rockets on displays, but there's also going to be other industry participants on that. So I really highly recommend it. Amazing value. I mean, you can't miss that. I really love it. It's just great to see everyone together. But speaking of other folks that are doing things in space, you know, and I mentioned this, maybe 3 of our ecosystem spaces again. When you look at human spaceflight, or you look at the history of humans in the ocean, or crossing the ocean, and navies and everything, you can't get there without some beer, or some grog, or whatever it might be. And you know, I think every great human diaspora has their origin story, but they usually don't happen unless there's a little beer along the way. And fortunately for us, we have that man that's changing history right here in the house. So I'd like to introduce Nate R. Groves, who's the founder of Starbase Brewing, to talk about what he's done pushing the boundaries of brewing in space, and how he is going to brew the first beer on Mars. So, Nate, if I could get you up here, thank you. Not only thank you for coming, but thank you for being a sponsor for us and making our events great.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. While he's setting up the presentation, not to beat a dead horse, but everybody should go to Astro Awards. It is a very, very cool event. Yeah, definitely. Sponsor. Yeah, we do sponsor. But it's awesome for everybody. It's Tim's there, Scott Manley, Joe Barnard from BPS Space. If anybody watches that channel, Zyla Foxland's coming.
Yeah, even nephews or you know, this is from 12 to
all ages.
10 to 30 to 60. You'll have them all around.
Yeah, it's super cool. Thanks for the intro. My name is Nate. I am the owner and founder of Starbase Brewing, and I'm here to talk about some of the stuff we've been doing. So, next slide. So, quick overview of our kind of master plan. So, step 1 is we're trying to brew cool space beers to get people excited about space. Next slide. The focus of the talk today is talking more about some of our science research. So we're using the proceeds from step 1 to invest in cool science research. And then long term, our goal is to use the proceeds from step 1 and the knowledge gained from step 2 to establish the first brewery on Mars. And I feel like we're on the right track for that, I think. So I mentioned research stuff. There are kind of 2 big targets that we have been working in as far as like research domains. The first is fermentation, which is really important for making beer. Obviously, the other is agriculture, which is important for making the ingredients for beer. And that stuff is also really important for a lot of other space domains. So life support, waste management, psychological health for the astronauts, all that kind of stuff. So next slide. So we've done 3 I would say, like pretty large experiments so far. The first one was started a couple of years ago. We got connected with some of the soil science people at Texas A&M, and we wanted to study how to improve crop viability in lunar and Martian regolith. One of the grad students there had an idea that you could use a byproduct of brewing, a really nutritious thing called brewer's spent grain, which most breweries donated to cattle farms and pig farms. And he said if we mix this into lunar and Martian regolith, it might provide a base for seeds to bind to. So next slide. And it worked. So here's a couple of photos. You can see on the left, there's some Martian simulant and lunar simulant. The left photo has brewer spent grain added. The right photo does not. And you can see that without brewer spent grain, nothing grew. And then at the top, sorry, go back one. Yeah, so at the top you can see that the lunar and Martian simulant with spent grain, actually, after a while, the soil weathered in, and it was growing as well as just normal potting soil, which was pretty significant. Next slide. And we've been doing a lot of, we've kind of continued that study. So that last slide was collard greens. This is a greenhouse in Texas A&M in the kind of soil science group. We're growing tomato, cotton, lettuce, chard, sorghum, bush bean, amaranth, a lot of other crops. This is the first time any of these have been grown in lunar and Martian soils, so soil simulants. We then got a chance to fly an experiment on Crew 11 to the ISS. So we decided we were going to try to ferment the first beer in space, which has never been done. People have taken ingredients to space, like Budweiser's taken seeds, and people have taken yeast packets, but nobody's ever combined them in space to see what happens. We designed an experiment called Microbrew. That's our mission patch, Microbrew 1. And then next slide. Here's a photo of our flight hardware. So this is using hardware from a company called Bioserve in Colorado. The top chamber on this, under our logo, has what's called wort, which is unfermented beer, basically like sugar water. The chamber below that with the little specks, that's lyophilized, freeze-dried yeast. When this thing gets to space, the astronaut puts a crank in, turns the crank, there's a bypass chamber, everything flows together, and then it ferments in space. So here's a single test tube for scale. We're not talking like 12-ounce beers. This is like small amounts. We're trying to get good science out of it. That'll be down the line. And then here's a photo taken by Johnny Kim on the space station. You can see the ISS hardware in the background. And this is right before he activated the experiment. So this was kind of cool to get back. And then here's a photo of the hardware after we got it back. So on the left is the flight hardware. On the right is the ground control. And one thing that's kind of interesting is on the left, you can see the beer is a little bit cloudier. And we think that that is because we used a top fermenting yeast, and there is no top in space. So we think that that affected the fermentation profile. So we're currently analyzing this in universities on 3 different continents, the US, Europe, and Australia, and we'll have a lot of cool data about this soon. And then as part of the second experiment, we were able to get a second payload spot for Crew 11, and we decided to take the experiment that we've been doing with A&M and take it a step further and try to grow the first crops in soil in space. So people have grown stuff in hydroponics. On the ISS, they have the clay-based media system. So people have grown stuff in space, but nobody's ever grown anything in soil in space. So we designed an experiment called Oasis. Slight callback to Mars Oasis, if anybody's familiar with that thing. If not, you should look it up. It's pretty cool. And this is another photo from Johnny Kim with some barley seeds that have sprouted in space. So we believe this is the first soil-based experiment in outer space. Another kind of a cool close-up, you can see on the right, I like the photo on the right, that shows the root hairs for the barley crop, and you can see the hairs are like really stretching out into the regolith, and this is because there's not much nutrient in the regolith, so it's really searching. So we're doing a lot of ground controls on that and comparing that as well. And then a cool macro photo of one of the barley seeds. You can see the regolith sticking to the root. And what's next? So we're actually launching an in-house research lab. So we recently spun up a company called Starbase Research. We have 4 part-time researchers working now. We're looking for lab space. We applied for our first 5 NASA grants, and one is looking encouraging. So yeah, starting to collaborate with people. We're meeting with a bunch of big industry people around Texas. If anybody, I guess next slide, if anybody wants to collaborate on fermentation or space agriculture research, please reach out. Or if you're just hosting a cool space event, a launch party or something, and you want beer, reach out. And yeah, that's it. And if anybody wants to chat, I'm at the beer table.
Questions? Anybody?
Yeah, any questions?
So it can't be a lager, it can't be a pilsner. What is the future of space beer? What's the brand? What's the style?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. There are multiple issues. I think the biggest issue to beer in space is actually that there's no carbonation in space because there's no gravity to like hold the carbonation bubbles in, so you can't drink a Coca-Cola or anything. I think honestly the future of alcohol in space is more like whiskey and spirits, not non-carbonated stuff, which we're exploring as well. So
Collab. Right?
yeah, collab is still. I talked to the owner of Still Austin actually kind of about this. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we do at Ecosystem Space. We make connections.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Nate. Thank you so much. Let's give it a hand for Nate. Yes, absolutely.
I just want to say thank you to Starbase. They have been a tried and true partner of Ecosystem Space since we've launched, so we're so honored to have you here. We've been waiting for you to come up and speak, and we look forward to so much collaboration going forward. Thank you for what you're doing to advance it all out there in the world.
All right, let's go back to drinking his beer. That is free tonight. I did say free beer, so if you don't take advantage of that, it's not because I didn't tell you. We are here until 8, so you got 45 minutes. Network, meet, greet, talk to somebody you haven't talked to today. Thank you so much for coming out, and we hope you make the next one. Thank you.
Lovers.